tell you about how I earned this quilt back in action. Now, I served 3 tours right out of high school, and my last one was warped. Back in 2008, I heard the call to fight, and I vowed right then and there to dedicate my life to the service of emo freedom. And while the war still rages on, pop punk will never die. Now, one of the biggest secrets I need to tell y'all is you cannot make it seem like it's your first tour. So by doing so, you cannot wear the uniform of the band you're trying to see unless you got that uniform on the battlefield itself. Way back when, I opted to wear this Paramore shirt back over here because they were not playing then, and cute is what I was aiming for. Now it was a time to write Love on Her Arms, and the most prominent greeting of them was RAR XD. But my #1 goal was to get in the trenches themselves with All Time Low. Back then, they had their own t-shirt that said, "No one wants your free hug." And I knew this was appropriate for me because there's no place for hugs on the battlefield. Now, I was deep in the trenches with a lot of preteen girls. But by being 6'3", I could easily make direct eye contact with Alex Gaskarth. Right then and there, I knew it was going to be my weekend. I knew it was going to be my year. I felt weightless, and that was enough. But after that came the dark ages, followed by the plague of 2019. All I could hear was the faint screeches of emo rap throughout all of the suffering. So I stayed inside just like everyone else, while the sounds of my youth slowly died. Come on, ask me about any of these bands here and I'll tell you how they died.
That one.
So, he's pointing directly to AFI. We all remember AFI, but back then, Miss Murder took them into the grave themselves. Come on, ask me about one of these. All right, she's pointing to Jimmy Eat World. And when Jimmy Eat World got into their mid to late 40s, they ate too much. And they could no longer perform on stage. It was so sad. But then came a glimmer of hope, led by the machine guns of General Kelly. And rising from the grave, our forever commander, Travis fucking Barker, of Blink-182 to save the day. New groups begin to rise, like Kenny Hoopla, Magnolia Park, and Poor Stacy. Lines begin to ruckus throughout the streets like, "If we die tonight, get buried next to me." I was so excited, I ran to the local nursing home to meet up with all of my friends. I burst through those doors like my name was El Nino. And I could not help but hear an exchanging of words. Pop punk was more live than ever before. And they told me about the land that time forgot, Australia. It's like Australia just stopped at 2005. Bands that sounded more like email signatures were flourishing, like With Confidence and Yours Truly. They even had their own Paramore, led by our fiery redhead in a band called Red Hook, singing long lines like, "I'm a fucked up mess, feeling angry and depressed. I make bad decisions. I make bad decisions." But through all of the glimmer about it, I discovered my new favorite band, Stand Atlantic. And maybe in my old age, my memories don't have to live on in a quilt, but they can still stay with me to this day. now I know the way she hates me sometimes, but I can never forget my one true love, Jay-Z Ray, your grandmother. Now, I never told you kids a lie, and that makes me a liar. I never made a bet, but we gambled with desire. I never lit a match with intent to start a fire, but back then, the flames got out of control. She called me a name, killed me with words, forgot about me. It's what I deserved. I was her chance to get out of that town, but I ditched the car, and I left her too. Kids, I left your grandmother and those memories a long time ago. And while I still have this quilt to keep me warm, I have the songs of new pop punk to keep me alive. You know what? I just died at the thought of being alive at the same time as all of you.